Hi, mathematicians. We're going to just briefly look at some of the fractions that are represented on our calendar for April. So on this screen, I have 5 calendar markers that are showing us 1/6. So 1/6 of the whole. Now, what's interesting, even though they all show 1/6, they're showing us 1/6 in a little bit of a different way. Like the pizza, it's 1 out of 6 slices of pie. Now, that pizza could be any size. Think if you get an extra, extra large family size, that 1/6 of the whole is going to be a lot larger than if you get a little mini pizza for yourself. And same with the time. 1/6 of an hour is a lot different than 1/6 of 12 inches. But regardless, when we look at the number value on a number line, we're looking at the values between 0 and 1. And 1/6, if we notice, it's much closer to 0 than 1. It's not that much of the whole. It's 1/6 out of the whole. Then here we have 1/3. So the 5 calendar markers here are showing us 1/3. If you remember, Charlie picked up on that last week when he realized that the red here was 1/3 of the whole. And a lot of you were able to tell us that there's there's 3 groups of 4 inside of this array. And same with the pizza. It's actually 2 out of the 6 parts, but it's still equivalent or equal to 1/3 of it. You can even test this out at home with a dozen eggs. There are 12 eggs in all. And if there's just 4 eggs in the dozen, that is 1/3 out of the whole. Same thing with this array. It's like if you look at it, there's 4 in one group, and you can have 3 groups of 4 in your dozen of eggs. Then here's half. So if we look at our calendar markers, all 5 of these show us half of the whole. They're showing us 3 out of 6, 6 out of 12, half of an hour, so 30 minutes out of 60, 6 eggs out of 12, or 6 inches out of 12 inches. It's halfway between 0 and 1. Here we have 2/3. So thinking about how well we know that 1/3 of the whole, if we have 2 of those groups, we now have 2/3. Notice now, if we even look at the pizza or the hour, we now have more pieces. We're getting closer to the whole. So 2/3 is a fraction that is closer to 1. It is greater than a half. It's greater than 1/6. But let's see something that is greater than 5/6. All of these markers are showing us, wow, we're getting really close to 1 whole. It's almost a full hour. It's almost a dozen eggs or 12 inches. It's 5/6. And 5/6 is actually greater than 2/3. Remember that in between here, thirds are divided into 3 parts. Sixths are divided into 6 equal parts. So they're a little bit smaller, but when you have 5 of them, it's almost 1.